everybody. I'm finally playing a little game you might have heard of called Bloodborne. I finally had to bite the Quicksilver bullet and buy one of them billion-dollar bricks known as the PS4. And look at this beautiful sunset, which I am now walking away from before I have a chance to fully remark on it. I'm recording this in post, by the way. The PlayStation 4 does have a handy little record feature built in, but it does not have a voice recording thing that I know of yet, unless I have to buy something, and maybe I will, but until then, I'm going to have to do my PlayStation 4 Let's Plays in post. So here I am, walking around the city of Yharnam, fighting these bad beasties. In a world of bad beasties, and only one muscular Manny. He only has a few hours to kill them all and save himself, but he failed because he's dead. This is the knight's wig. As you can see, it's an adornment prized by the Knights of Canehurst. It resembles a ponytail of silver hair, and also it goes well with the black church garb, which also has a description. And you can see that I'm wearing the latest fashion from Kanye's new line, which was shown off in Madison Square Garden to a crowd of 50,000 awestruck spectators, civilians, peasants, as Kanye refers to them. It's got belts and buckles. It's got brown pants. You gotta have the brown pants. I'm all about the brown pants. You know, I used to have a pair of brown pants. A pair of beautiful brown corduroys. I bought them for a Laguna cosplay. Laguna from Final Fantasy VIII. I was him for Halloween one year in high school. So I had the brown corduroy pants, and the boots, and the denim jacket, and a little machine gun. I had long hair. It was so cool. That was a good Halloween. That was a good Halloween costume. And, you know, I was going around the city killing people, shooting people. That was my Bloodborne. You know, I live this every day. This is the adventures of my everyday life. You go around the city with weapons, and you fight the beasties. And everyone is a beast to me. They're all monsters. They're all evil. People are evil, and I don't trust them. That's why I run around town dressed like a Victorian prostitute murderer, and I kill them with my cane whip. Gotta have a cane whip. Gotta bring that to school. I'm the only motherfucker in history who was ever in the news for a mass killing at his high school with a cane whip. Because that's just how I roll. I'm the most evil guy. I'm the most scariest guy. I'm the most muscular Manny Fall. And look at me throw my firebombs right at those beasties. They don't stand a chance, I say. You throw your Molotovs right at them, and this guy comes up with a cleaver. There's always one guy with a cleaver or a pitchfork. There's always a few of them. Can I point out a flaw in this game? I mean, this didn't bother me as much. Well, I died, so whatever. This didn't bother me as much in Dark Souls 2 because all the enemies just look like zombies. They're all undead. You can sort of forgive it, but it really kind of bothers me in this game how all the basic enemies, you know, there's only 2 different outfits they wear. It's very apparent that you're fighting a bunch of clones of each other, and I wish they just had a little bit more variety in the basic enemy types. But hell, this is a couple days ago. Where I am in the game now, I'm past this, and I'm mostly fighting different enemies anyways, so it doesn't even really make a difference, I guess. It's just a minor complaint that I have. You know, this game isn't perfect. This game is getting a lot of praise, or it was getting a lot of praise when it was relevant months ago. I'm a little bit late to the party, but you know, it's getting all kinds of perfect 10s. And, you know, I don't think it's perfect, you know. It's got some problems that bother me quite a bit, you know. But then again, who am I to poo-poo on anyone's enjoyment? Who am I to say that your perfect 10 isn't correct? No, fuck that. Fuck negativity. I'm not about that. I'm all about positivity. I'm all about beast slaying. I'm all about demon hunting. I'm all about monster fighting and prostitute fucking. That's who I am. Endless Jest, the Victorian prostitute murderer. You know, as the history books tell us, he was kind of a jerk. But anyways, speaking of ways in which this game is good and not bad, there was a few things that I wanted to remark on that have impressed me in my time in this game, in this world so far. And the first one that I gotta point out is that the game is beautiful. And that actually surprised me, because the main thing that the reason I was never impressed with this game is because I saw a lot of it on YouTube, and it just looked brown and gray to me. I'm so sick of brown and gray, and everything that I saw from this game, you know, that's exactly what it looked like. People just walking around the same grimy, grungy, brown, gray, crappy city streets, and it just looked bleh. It looked blah. But then, you know, I actually, once I started playing it for myself, once I bought the game, I realized I was totally wrong. The game is beautiful. You know, there's colors everywhere, and you just don't notice them as much, I guess, when you're watching a Let's Play. I don't know, maybe YouTube makes it look worse, or, you know, lower fidelity or some shit, or maybe it's just, I don't know why, but, you know, you don't really get the full visual experience of this game if you're just watching it on YouTube. You gotta play it for yourself, because you gotta see, the graphics are really pretty. It's got way more colors than it may seem. Way more than meets the eye, you know? And also, it's fun. That's it. That's my review. It's fun. You play as a guy in pants, and you have a weapon. You run around and you kill guys. You kill other guys. And there's blood. There's a lot of blood in Bloodborne, and this is the kind of hard-hitting, deep analysis that you come to me for, and no one else. No one else can touch this. I'm the most intellectual mind on all of YouTube, on all the internet, as a matter of fact. And I'm the best at this game. Also, that's another thing that I wanted to point out. I am, in fact, the best at this game. The best at every game, obviously. You know that if you've been following my channel for a long time. You know for a fact that I am, empirically, the best at every single good game ever. I'm not good at bad games. But when it comes to good games, which this most certainly is, I am definitely the best at it. And you can see that right now. I'm killing guys left and right. You know, I might die a few times because when this was recorded, I had just started the game. I was just starting out, just getting the hang of it, you know, just getting my bearings. So in this footage, you may see me succumb to the violent hordes of my enemies more than a few times, but that's just me getting the hang of it, baby. Once I got to the hang of it, I was so good at this game. I'm the best at this game, you know? And of course, you know, I've been playing this game the last couple days. You know, I fought some bosses. I fought some bigger beasties, some goblins and ghoulies, some spooky dukes and some babadukes. You know, I fought all the guys. You know, I fought the blood-starved beast. I kicked her ass in my first try. I annihilated her. I put fire on my cane sword, my whippy whip. I went up and I just, you know, cracked that whip, licorice whip, you know, and I killed it in my first try. Of course, I wasn't recording. You know, that's like a constant. That's the one constant of Let's Plays. You know, if you're doing really good at a game, of course, it'll just so happen that you won't be recording. But if you are recording, you know, anytime that you are actually recording, that's when you're going to be playing like a dang old idiot. But you know, that's the game. It's good to play games. It's really good to play games. Video games are great. And as you can see, as I've pointed out before, I am using the best weapon in the game, which is well, I just threw a Molotov at the wall for no reason, but that's not what I was referring to when I said the best weapon in the game. I was in fact referring to this lovely cane whip. It is a cane that is also a sword, that is also a whip. It turns from a sword into a whip, you know, just like, what's her face with the boobies, Ivy from Soul Calibur. And it's just a fun weapon, you know. There's nothing more satisfying than there's a bunch of guys in front of you, you activate that whip, and you hit them all at once, and they all fall at your feet and die a bloody, gory death. They should all die gorily. They're kids too, and they're pets. You know, that's another thing that I was not enamored with this game at first, you know, watching it on YouTube and seeing stuff from it, because it seemed like there wasn't any weapon variety. It seemed like everything that I watched of this game, everyone was just using the same exact weapon. They were all using that stupid, shitty, hokey, corny, boring meat cleaver thing. And, you know, yeah, it's a cool weapon. It's the one that they showed in the first trailers and everything. And, yeah, you see it in the trailers. It looks like a cool weapon, you know. Oh, cool. It shows off how the weapons transform. And you're like, alright, that's interesting, you know. But then the game comes out, and you're watching, like, Let's Plays and gameplay, and it's like the only weapon anyone fucking uses. Everyone is using that damn meat cleaver. And it just gives off the impression that there's no fucking weapons in this game, right? But then I played the game, and right off the bat, they give you a choice of 3 different weapons. You know, the cleaver, the axe, or the cane. I chose the cane. So they give you a choice, so I don't know why everyone is just using the meat cleaver. It seems, aren't I the most handsome motherfucker you've ever seen? You could get lost in those eyes, man. Look at that. It looks just like me, really. It's uncanny, actually. Wow, just get a... Okay. I'm a very pretty, I'm a voluptuous, sexy man. But yeah, there's definitely more weapons in this game, more weapon variety than it may seem at first. Still not on the level of the Dark Souls games, I don't think. I mean, they do give you a choice, but it also seems like you don't find nearly enough interesting weapons. You know, so it ends up being the weapon you choose at the beginning, because you don't find any other weapons that often. You just, you know, put more stat building into your original weapon, and you never really have a chance to switch out. You never really get to experiment, or, you know, because by the time you find new weapons, your original weapon is going to be all maxed out anyways, so there's no point. And that bothers me. That's a definite flaw, in my opinion. There's still not nearly enough weapon variety in this game. There's not enough weapons lying about to find and discover. You know, early on in the game, there should definitely be more of that. But, on the other hand, it's also not nearly as restricting as it may seem just watching people play it on YouTube, because all those motherfuckers, they all play the same way. They all use the same damn weapon. All those boring motherfuckers on YouTube. You know, there's nothing worse than a boring motherfucker on YouTube. Now, like me, I'm the most fun guy of all. I don't even have a gun in this footage. This was really early on in my playthrough. I didn't even have the gun yet, so I'm just getting my ass kicked left and right. That guy beat me to death with a fucking brick. He beat me to death with a PlayStation 4, essentially. Man, can we talk about how shitty modern consoles are? How shitty the PlayStation 4 is? All these fucking superfluous features, you know, cluttering up the menu screen. And I know why they do it, you know. They add in all these superfluous options that you're never going to fucking use, just so that it seems like the machine does a lot of different stuff. But it doesn't really do anything. You know, basic features that were, like, you know, basic features on the PlayStation 3 are now impossible to find. You know, they get rid of everything slowly. They just get worse and worse with each console generation. Each generation, you know, they took away backwards compatibility. They made it so that you have to pay for online play now. It used to be fucking free, you know. They're just getting worse and worse. And I can't believe that people fall for this shit and aren't calling it out nearly enough. I mean, I'm sure some people are complaining about it, but it doesn't seem like nearly enough people are complaining about these things. They really fuck you, you know? And you just go on the menu, and it's all cluttered with all this crap, these useless apps and features that you're never gonna fucking use, that are just there taking up space, making it confusing to navigate, and you can't even find basic fucking functions. Like, I put a flash drive in there to get this footage, right? And it took me like an hour just to find how to get the footage off the flash drive, and I still couldn't find out how to just access the flash drive on its own and get the files off of it. You know, I could go to the videos and, like, press take this video off flash drive, but you can't actually, there's no, like, option anywhere to just get in the fucking flash drive and find your files. And if it is, it's buried underneath all the other superfluous apps and craps. You know what I call your apps? I call them craps. Fuck you, Sony. Fuck modern consoles. And there I am again, looking sexy, looking swell as ever. You know, looking like I am one handsome Victorian prostitute murderer. I am the sweetest looking stud that ever roamed the streets and mercilessly bathed in the blood of prostitutes. Well, I guess that's all I had to say. The recording's almost done. It's running out of space here. You can only record 15 minutes at a time. That's another weird limitation of the PlayStation 4. It's a real bitch. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, it's a handy feature to be able to record whenever you want, but why limit it to 15 minutes? What kind of stupid bullshit is that? It's a pain in the ass, and it's a dumb, pointless, arbitrary restriction, and I don't like it. Fuck modern consoles. Bloodborne rules.